Hello, Eagles, and welcome to the Service Learning presentation. My name is Jamie Wilson, and my job is that I am a faculty and community partnership here in the Office of Service Learning at FGCU. What that means is I help faculty and community partners and agencies in our community work with students and faculty to bridge the gap between what you're doing in the class, what you're learning in the class, and how it can connect to your major, and what you're doing in the community, getting real world experience. I'm going to take you through a presentation for service learning, but any of the areas that I touch on, you can also find through our service learning website. So the first thing that I want to show you is that service learning at FGCU has been embedded with what we have been doing since the very, very beginning. Service learning has been in our DNA since the school opened in 1997, but it's different than what you would experience typically, maybe what you did in high school, where we would consider more volunteerism, right? It's that you're just going and you're picking up trash and then you're leaving. You're really not thinking about how it connects to what you are passionate about, what you want to do with your career. And you're certainly not thinking about how this will impact your life. Service learning is exactly that. You're doing service and you're learning at the same time. And so we want to make sure that you understand that it's something that we ask of every student since the beginning. Fun fact, I was a FGCU student here in 1998, and this was around since I was a student here. And that is why we're really working to integrate service into courses. And we are asking you to complete service in your course because it's a win-win for everyone. You're getting your coursework completed, you're earning service towards that 80-hour graduation requirement coming for first-time enrolled students, 40 hours for transfer students who meet the hour requirement. And we really want you to see the validity and what you're doing in your course and how it relates to your major and what you want to do in your life. We talked a little bit about how it's different than volunteerism. And service learning, we use what we call the active citizen continuum. The active citizen continuum really takes you through the stages. We are all really kind of members, just existing in life. We're members. We are just here. And then typically, probably for most of us, we are existing somewhere in that volunteer stage, right? So we can volunteer, we can serve, and then we go, and we don't really connect anything. And we don't really explore what the reasons for that, right? So we can go and serve food to the hungry, but we're not really thinking why they're there. We're not really thinking about the root causes. And so that's when you kind of move across the continuum to that conscientious citizen, discovering those root causes. So instead of just kind of band-aiding the problem and doing that volunteerism, really thinking about what are the social issues that are impacting those individuals. And then finally, hopefully we're getting to at some point our active citizen was really trying to make it like our priority in life. How are we thinking about the choices we make, the things that we do, the careers that we have? How does that impact those root causes of those problems? Not necessarily that you will flow through the continuum in one class. That's really not what we're really aiming here for. We're really just thinking about, are you moving in your life to kind of work towards that active citizen continuum? We really think about those social issues that we talked about in the continuum. We think about those in terms of what we call the SDGs, or the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 goals that we use at the university to target those social issues. It's how we also organize the different agencies. If you attend our service learning fair, the different agencies who are at the fair have what sustainable development goals they are targeting. But it is a global partnership that people around the world have agreed to, that these are necessary issues that they are working to actively try to solve, eradicate. They are a wide variety of things, as you'll see here. And we are also asking, when you think about service, think about which box they fit into. So, it's really easy. I think the idea that when we're thinking about service, we want to just like, I want to do something with mental health. I think mental health is important. Well, we actually have an SDG that goes with that, which is SDG 3, which is good health and well-being. Or you may say, I'm really worried about the housing crisis in Southwest Florida, and what are we doing to solve that so the working folk can have a place to live? That's SDG 8, which is decent work and economic growth. It could be also the idea of reduced inequalities, which is number 10. And sustainable cities and communities, number 11. So you can see that the things that we're passionate about, you can go through the SDGs online. They have really great resources online to explore those, but that's really where we want you to start thinking about what you're passionate about. Um, and then also understand that I always remind students when we go in and talk into classes and do presentations like this, is that it's not something that you have to do. It's something that you get to do. And I think of service learning, and I want you to think about service learning in a little bit of a different way than maybe even I thought about as a student, is that it is a resume building activity. And so think about what you need when you graduate college. You need experience. And for a lot of us, we really haven't built a lot of the experience within the 4 years that we've been at the university because we've been busy being students. And so if we are intentional about how we are using our service learning experience to be resume building experiences, then we are going to be able to set ourselves apart for job opportunities, right? And so if we know, for example, using this picture as a starting point, if we know that we're really interested in the healthcare industry and we really want to work in the healthcare industry, but we really haven't had a lot of experience in the healthcare industry, so you would look for service learning opportunities that fit that realm. So I would encourage you to look for and filter your results for healthcare specific opportunities with community clinics, with health outreach, with mental health agencies, whatever it may be that you're interested in, and then start to develop relationships with those people. They could possibly turn into jobs. Think about building that resume with all the different areas. And we also think about service learning as the ability to really try on a lot of different areas. One of my kind of famous stories is that I will have students that show up even to my classes and will be like, I absolutely want to be a teacher, or I never want to work with kids. And so then I'll say, have you tried? And they'll say no. And so this is a great opportunity to try out things that you think may be interesting. So if you think you may want to major in education, for example, but you never really have worked in a classroom, we invite you to think about opportunities through education that will give you that experience to try on that major before you get that really expensive degree, right? And so this will help you explore your passions. If you're not really sure what you want to do here at FGCU and you have a lot of things that you're interested in, that's fantastic. We would love for you to then explore that intentionally through service learning and with your service learning projects. So think about that when you are thinking about the agencies that you want to work with. In that same regard, about trying on majors and making sure you're in the right area, we are really strive to understand that what you're doing inside your classrooms and outside in the community is building career readiness skills. Those career readiness skills are absolutely what employers are looking for. These are called NACE career competencies. And when we surveyed, or when NACE surveyed employers, and when they were asking for college graduates to be ready to do, these were their top requirements. And so you can use your experience in service learning as a springboard for these conversations. So an employer may say, tell me about a time that you worked on a team. And you can say, absolutely, I'd love to tell you about teamwork because I worked with the team for a service learning project to blank. Right? Or how did you critically think about through a problem that arose in your experience at FGCU? And so you can then give a real world example about an issue that arose maybe with a community partner or with the team member and how you were able to critically think through that issue to come to a solution. So these again are career readiness areas. We do want you to think about also that service learning can look different. You really can tailor these experiences to what you're passionate about. And service learning isn't always hands-on. It can be a wide variety of things, and especially, again, thinking about what you're good at. So we have four buckets, what I call them, four areas of service that we recognize as service learning. The first being direct service. So that would be directly serving. That would be more kind of the hands-on. And so when I talk to students, I say, this would be what you would think as the quintessential serving. So this is, I'm showing up to community cooperative and I am serving the food. I am interacting with the individuals that are profiting from my work. Okay. Indirect service, it may not take place in the presence of others. And so that may be something like while you are at community cooperative and you're looking around and you may notice that they're having a big holiday coming up and they need more turkeys for their big holiday event. And so you may indirectly serve them by holding a drive. You may be looking towards having a way to indirectly impact them without actually stepping foot into that area. So if you have expertise like that, and some passions and connections and those types of things, you can still get service learning hours without ever stepping foot inside that area. While at community cooperative, you may talk with the people there and they may say, hey, you know what a big need is? We really need someone to recruit volunteers. We need people to understand that these services are available in the community. And so that can be advocacy, as that you are raising awareness, that you are helping to educate others and you're advocating for their needs. And the last one may be research. We have some courses here at FGCU that will allow us to collect data and then use that data to then inform the work that the community partner is doing. So for example, the community partner may say, hey, we have these mobile food units, but we don't know really where they should go. And so with those skills that you may have, maybe with GIS mapping or research or data collection, you may be able to say, pull data from different sites or maybe from the research that they provide you that they have about where their neighbors live. And you can be able to pinpoint where mobile pantries should be set up. So again, never really setting foot inside that partner's walls, but really impacting the work that they do. So be mindful of service learning can look different based on your expertise and also what the community partner needs. So that brings us to our next area of best practices. Number one, always determining the need. It's one thing that you think that the partner needs something. It's another thing to actually engage with the partner and ask them, what do you need? Doing some good research before you show up to that meeting is really important to know what they're already doing. And then saying, I see that you're doing this. I see that you're doing this. How can I help? What are some things that you need? How can I help serve the people that you serve the animals that you serve, whatever it may be? We also want to think of it as objective-based versus hours-based. We do not want you to think that you have 5 hours of work to do, you're doing the 5 hours and you're done. We really want you to think about what are the objectives that you and your partner are setting forth and you and your faculty member are setting forth that are saying, these are the objectives that I have set with my community partner. How many hours it takes for me to reach those objectives is up to me. So if I say that one of the objectives for me working with the community partner agency is that they don't have a social media presence, and my objective is to create a social media presence for them, that is a communication with you and the agency to say, what does that look like and how many hours that you put forth into that is how many hours you think it needs to meet that objective. I always tell students, what you put in is how many hours you should get out. We don't want you to say, I'm going to show up for 5 hours. Your 5 hours is over. You drop the rake and you leave, right? It's really not moving out of that active citizen continuum, right? It's not really working towards solving that issue and meeting the needs of that partner. Definitely connect with the community partner very early on to determine their needs, reaching out to them early because at the very beginning of the semester, they are going to be inundated with students and they're going to be inundated with a lot of people. And sometimes our agencies, there are only 1 or 2 people that are behind the scenes working, and that may not even be their full-time job. So be mindful of that, communicate your timeline to them to let them know how quickly you need an answer. And it may be best practice to say, I'm reaching out to you and I'm reaching out to two other agencies to make sure that I can line up with a partner that fits my needs and my timelines. Let me know if this fits your needs. And if it doesn't fit your needs and doesn't fit your timelines, or if you decided to work with another partner, please use those best professional practices to reply back to them and say, thank you for your reply. I've decided to work with another partner. Okay. A lot of times our partners say we just get ghosted. Like we tell them we want to work with them and we never hear from them. Um, and also, please make sure you're tracking your hours. We have videos to show you how to do that. We have right on our main service learning webpage, we have ways to do all those areas. There is a two-step process. The first step is making sure that you enter in the community partner you're working with. Someone in our office has to verify that that is truly a nonprofit or government agency that fits that criteria. And then you'll go back at the end to track your hours, okay? Let's go ahead and spend some time going through the website so you can see how that works. Because it is really important that you understand how maybe not different, how easy it is to navigate some questions that you may have about what is available to you and who is available to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share once again. And we're going to go through, and on the main FGCU page, you're going to use the little spyglass right here to type in the word service learning. Maybe. Or you can also do FGCU service learning here. Service learning and civic engagement will be your first result. And then right here are those buttons that I showed you. So again, tracking your hours. There is a video guide and it shows you exactly how to do it. Eagle Service Network will take you to the way that you can track those hours. The sign in is with your email and your password that you always use. I always tell students, if you can't get in, let the Office of Service Learning know and they can reset that password. You can come into the office and we can do that for you. But when you are on this main page, you want to make sure that you are familiar with all the areas. So there is a button that says student resources. So this can definitely go through some best practices, some things that I shared about what you should do and not do with community partner. But really these up here are going to be your main areas that you're going to use. The first one is our community partner database. We have over 500 agencies that we have a relationship that are pre-approved to work with. So you know if they're in our agency list, that they are going to be approved for working with you for your project. This is an alphabetical list. I do not recommend going through 557 entries this way. I do recommend using the advanced search. So you can narrow it down by county. You can also narrow it down by category. And you can also narrow it down by sustainable development goals. So like we spoke about. So again, if you're really interested, for example, in quality education, I can click on that area and I can click search agencies and it will then bring the total down. You can keep clicking as you would on like a Google through the advanced search to narrow your results even more. But once you go onto here, you're able to click through the agency and then you're able to find their website, the description of what they do, and the contacts for those people. Feel free to call and email these individuals. They give us their information because of that. You are not bothering them, okay? So you can for sure go ahead and go through those areas, and then you'll also be able to see while you're there, we have them list their sustainable development goals. You list their county where they work out of, and then also the category that they serve. So this can be a good direction for you to figure out who you may want to work with. You can also do, let me go ahead and click out of this. You can also very easily, if you want to find an FGCU partner, you can click on the words FGCU and our FGCU partners will come up here. But you also really have a really good opportunity to find events and to find opportunities that are happening right now. And so these people, if you click on, I'm sorry, I didn't talk you through that. If you go through the main FGCU Service Learning website again, and you click on Find Service Learning Opportunities, it will take you to Eagle Link. As a student here at FGCU, you're probably very familiar with Eagle Link for other events, but we have our own service learning opportunities page, and that page will always be updated. So these partners that are in our database send us needs that they have, either one-time needs or ongoing needs. So ongoing needs would be like their bilingual volunteer needed for front desk. They always need that. And then one-time needs are like a winter camp. This is something that they need right now. So you can definitely click on those and figure out which ones are happening. Or you can even click on something like typing in the word virtual, and you can type in the word virtual, and all of our virtual opportunities will come up there. So you can use this again, like Google, if you were really into event planning or you'd like to be a photographer, right? You can use this area over here to refine those results. And what I would say is use this as a springboard. So for example, I can see that there is a big event that's happening, and I may then use this listing as a springboard to contact the people that are listed here, to follow up, to have a discussion about their needs, right? So this is just another tool for you to have. As you are navigating service learning here at FGCU. We are located in McTurnican Hall, 229 above parking services, and we are here to help 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if you are on campus and in need of partners, once a semester, we have the Service Learning Fair. We have different events on campus throughout the year to promote service learning on campus and off campus opportunities. So please make sure to take advantage of that. All the information is available to you. You have to do a little bit of digging. Good luck to everyone.